I frequently get asked, what advice would you give someone who's discerning monastic life or a priestly vocation, religious life in general? And I always emphasize a couple things. One is it needs to be a matter of prayer, and preferably prayer done in discernment with another guide, a spiritual director. And second, if you discern that God is rousing me to this, to investigate and explore this way of life, then you can only discern so far from your present location, and you can't be afraid to take the next step when you're ready. By taking that next step, be it go make a retreat, or go enter the monastery, or take your first vows, or take your final vows, by taking that step, you'll get to see what lies around the next curve in the road that you can't see from your present point. And you will come to know, just by living this course, whether this life is meant for you, and whether God is guiding you this way, or whether it's just been an item of curiosity for yourself.
I would like to suggest 2 pieces of advice for anybody inquiring into the monastic life. And the first would be, get some life experience and learn about yourself. And especially if you're, want to enter here, learn about different orders, such as had my experience with the Holy Cross priests and the Salesians. I also, discerned with the diocesan priesthood. And just doing all that homework ahead of time allows one to be more committed once, what one does make his vows to this place, and not think about what might have been. So that would be my first piece of advice, get some life experience. The second piece would be, don't be over idealistic about the monastic life here. I would have to say, it's a very good place with a good community, and I've had very positive experiences thus far. But there are also, you can say, the shadows inside the monastery, things that people may not anticipate because they are so separated from the monastery, and they're always looking inside from the outside. And so don't be over idealistic. It seems that there are some people that have entered and thought something that the monastery was supposed to be, and held very high ideals. And when these ideals weren't met, they didn't know how to cope with it. And so if that would help.
Well, this is, I suppose, very low-level wisdom. But when I was vocation director some years ago, and people would come, men would come wanting to join the monastery, and I would say, well, let's just take a look. Do you like routine? And whatever answer they gave to me gave me the key. If you like routine, you like to know what's going to happen, when, at what time, and all of this, you like to know all of that, and you don't care if it happens every day forever, then you might have a monastic vocation. But if you say, oh, I can't stand routine, I've got to see things, I've got to move, I don't want to do the same thing all the time. And I say, well, this probably would overwhelm you, because we basically do the same thing every day forever. So for me, that's, and that comes down to the vow of stability. Can you stay here for a lifetime? Can you stay here? I've been here 60 years, came here when I was 14, fell in love with the work, with the place, with monastic life, with the seminary work and all of that. But you've got to, if you're going to keep alive while you're here, you have to love the balance and the routine of Benedictine life, going over and over, and you can't let it become staid or kind of dried out. It has got to be dynamic until your last breath. Dynamic in the fact even that you're doing the same thing over and over and over. But it varies, of course, from day to day. And when you find your excitement on this level, today being a particular feast, and the great feast of such and such is coming, and you start looking forward to the spiritual realities that you're living and that you're celebrating, no matter how young or old you are, this can still be exciting. Even though you did this last year, and you did it 20 years ago, and you're going to do it 20 years from now. But that's okay. You love this.